Now this is Beirut. 17 years ago, on a day like today, a 33-day war with Israel ended. Now, while some see as it was inconclusive, in Lebanon it is hailed as the history of victory. Hezbollah hails it as one. Well, for once, it was the first time in the Arab-Israeli conflict that Israel doesn't take any part of the Lebanese border. 17 years later, today, the tensions are still high and the risks of war are still there. Take a look. An escalating war of words between Israel and Hezbollah echoes heightened tensions at the border. In the last few weeks, the two sides have vowed to send each other to the Stone Age in case of conflict. They are even preparing for a possible conflict, despite denying seeking one in public. Israel and Hezbollah are foes of the past, and for almost 2 decades, the two has avoided war across the Lebanese-Israeli frontier. This frontier that witnessed deadly clashes 17 years ago. Until recently, a sense of calm prevailed in the region, except for a few instances of cross-border skirmishes. It is these incidents which have added to the risks of escalation, as regional tensions simmer over Iran's nuclear program and as Israel-Palestinian violence surges. On the other hand, there is Israel, marred by its domestic troubles, fears that the judicial reform row might embolden its enemies, and it views Hezbollah among them. The tensions made news earlier this month when Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant warned of sending Hezbollah back to the Stone Age in case of a conflict.
I warn Hezbollah and Israel not to make a mistake. You have made mistakes in the past and paid hefty prices. If God forbid, an escalation or a warfare incident will be developing here, we will return Lebanon to the Stone Age. We will not hesitate to use all our power and erode every meter of Hezbollah and Lebanon if required. Do not make a mistake. We do not want a war, but we are prepared to protect our civilians, our soldiers, and our sovereignty.
The verbal attack did not go unanswered. After a few days, on the anniversary of the war, the group's chief, Hassan Nasrallah, replied. He not only replicated the threat of sending them to the Stone Age, but warned of further repercussions.
Today I can tell him that you too will be returned to the Stone Age if you go to war with Lebanon. You may be able to return a country here and there to the Stone Age, but if the conflict draws in the resistance axis, there will be no such thing called Israel anymore.
A Reuters report citing an unnamed source in Hezbollah says the group had taken a decision not to allow any provocations to prompt war. They want to preserve calm. Israel sees Hezbollah, founded by Iran's Revolutionary Guards in 1982, as the biggest threat to its borders. Hezbollah is the only faction from the Lebanese civil war that has been able to retain its weaponry. It was Hezbollah and its guerrilla fighters that aided Lebanese victory 17 years ago. 2006 was the year of the Second Lebanon War. In July that year, Hezbollah launched an operation against Israel. It was a pressure-building tactic to free the 3 Lebanese from Israeli prison. Several Israeli soldiers were killed in the operation. Israel retaliated and launched a major offensive against Lebanon. Be it civilian or military, no target was out of reach. More than 1,200 Lebanese were killed. But the Hezbollah fighters continued to fight the enemy. After 34 days of a bloody battle, Lebanon achieved what no Arab nation had been able to accomplish. Fighting the Israel Defense Forces to a standstill. Hezbollah and its leader Hassan Nasrallah emerged as heroes in much of the Arab world. A lot has changed since then. Hezbollah's armory has gotten much more advanced. So have its ambitions and its strategies.
Rules of engagement have been defined in 2021 by first saying that if Israel violates the Al-Aqsa Mosque, this will be a regional conflict. All factions from across the region will join in, all pro-Iran factions, of course, and allies of Hezbollah. And this means that whenever there's an attack in East Jerusalem, there will be a response from Lebanon's southern borders. But also, this has been kind of expanded a little bit. So let's say there's an attack on Gaza. If an attack on Gaza escalates, we will see a response from South Lebanon as well. And I think this will be extended also to the West Bank and Jenin, and also in other places later on.
Just like both parties, regional observers are also divided. Some say Israel is in dire need of a war. It needs to forge unity in times of crisis. While others believe that the rebellion from within Israeli military on the issue of judicial reforms leaves the country in a vulnerable spot, which they might be able to make the most of.